He tossed the ball back to Joe Burrow, who found Trenton Irwin wide open for 35 yards down the field. Welcome to the jungle, Bengals fans. I'm Kyle Phelps, and we did it! We beat the Cleveland Browns! Damn, isn't it kind of crazy how the Bengals own the Chiefs? They look like Super Bowl contenders at this point, and yet heading into this game, all anyone could talk about was how the Bengals haven't been able to beat the Cleveland Browns in the Joe Burrow era. A franchise that has a winning percentage of 32% since returning to the league in 1999. But hey, they won this one, guys. So we're going to break all that down today, but before we do that, I'd just like to ask that y'all like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. It'll help my channel grow, and it'll help you know when I drop all of my content. Thank God the Bengals finally got a win over the Cleveland Browns, man. I was really getting tired of that discussion. And to be fair, only like 2 of those wins that people talk about in that 6-game losing streak were actually all that meaningful. I think we can all agree that anything that happened in 2020 was pretty much irrelevant, especially like, losing to the Browns. It's like the 2020 was a warm-up year, right? The first win that was really impressive by them was Week 9 of last year. But that Week 18 loss was basically an exhibition match, right? The Bengals weren't playing for anything at all. They couldn't get the number 1 seed. They had already won the division. There was nothing left to play for. So they started all their backups, and they still almost came away with a win in that game. That right there, I think, should show you what that game meant. The beatdown from Week 8 this year, that sucked, right? But it was really only those 2 games, the Week 8 game from this year and the Week 9 game from last year, that really mattered all that much to Joe Burrow's career. And it's like, yeah, that sucks that they lost those 2 games. I was mad. I was going up into this game like, we gotta beat them. I'm sick and tired of losing to them. But I didn't feel like it was a true pattern unless they lost again this week. Then it would have been like kind of like really concerning. Like, why can't we beat this team? But oh man, did they come out with the energy today, baby. Joe Burrow said, I am done being Cleveland's punching bag. And then he tossed a few incompletions and handed the ball off before they punted. So, then the defense let the Browns march down the field, and I'm thinking, oh my God, here we go again, right? But hey, the Browns inexplicably decided to go for it from the 25 for some god-awful reason, I don't know. And the defense held, so the slate got wiped clean. Then there was 4 punts in a row. I'm thinking, hey, at least Deshaun Watson isn't slaughtering us in his first game in Cleveland, right? But it would sure be nice if the offense would wake the hell up. Finally, though, the Browns decided that they were going to wake the sleeping giant. And I say that because the Bengals offense kind of, refused to sustain anything on the first drive of the second quarter. But the Browns defense decided that was the perfect moment to absolutely implode with penalties. Defensive holding on Martin Emerson, roughing the kicker on Tony Fields, illegal use of hands on Isaiah Thomas, and pass interference on Denzel Ward combined for 62 yards and 4 free first downs. And by the way, these were all fair penalties, by the way. This was just the Browns being stupid. Eventually, that groggy Bengals offense couldn't keep hitting the snooze alarm, and Joe Burrow found Jamar Chase in double coverage in the end zone and fired an absolute dart for a touchdown. And Jamar Chase even said he wasn't even ready for that ball. So, that's how good of a throw that was from Joe Burrow. It reminded me of last week when T. Higgins caught that, game-sealing catch for the first down. And from that point, the Bengals held a lead that they would not relinquish for the entire rest of the game. The Browns started driving again on their next drive, but the defense held in the red zone and forced a field goal attempt. But the Bengals came out with a scoring drive of their own, capped off by a Samaje Perine touchdown run, and finished the half up 13-3. And from that point on, the Bengals' running game was virtually unstoppable, which was awesome, considering they didn't exactly get out to the best start. But they stuck with it. The game plan actually made sense this week against a Browns run defense that we all know is atrocious. And they ended up with Joe Mixon averaging 6.9 yards per carry and Perine averaging 5.5. And yes, we are absolutely going to talk about that flea flicker. A play set up by the fact that the Bengals didn't abandon the run. So, when Joe Mixon took the handoff, the Browns fully committed to stopping the run, which it looked like they were about to do very easily on that play, by the way. But he tossed the ball back to Joe Burrow, who found Trenton Irwin wide open for 35 yards down the field, and an easy walk-in touchdown, 20-3. The Browns answered with a touchdown of their own on the following drive. The Bengals got a field goal, but the defense put the clamps down after that, intercepting Watson and killing virtually all of the Browns' momentum after what was looking to be the start of a very promising drive for them. It was basically coffin nails with the whole fourth quarter left to play. Also, I want to point out how some are going to look at this game and see it as a bit of an offensive struggle for the Bengals, but don't forget that the Bengals were without Hayden Hurst, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd, who was lost partway through with a dislocated finger. And T. Higgins did play, by the way, but only for like 1 or 2 snaps because of a hamstring issue that he kind of aggravated in warm-ups of the game. So as far as guys on the field, you had Jamar Chase, who was awesome, but other than that, Joe Burrow's throwing to dudes like Trent Taylor, Trent Irwin, and Mitch Wilcox all night. This is basically like, the old school Tom Brady story of making, like untalented white wide receivers look really amazing. And throwing to guys like that, you still came within a few plays of dropping 30 points on him. If that doesn't win him the MVP this year, I don't know what will. There's so many arguments for it at this point. But what's really important is that the Bengals are now 9-4, and they're on a 5-game win streak for the first time since 2015, and the first time in Zach Taylor's tenure. They only have 4 games left to play this year. 3 of those games, Patriots, Bucks, Ravens, look extremely winnable right now. The one that is going to be really tough, though, is the Bills game. But if they can come away with a win in that one, there's a really good chance that they could end up with the number 1 seed and a bye week in the playoffs. All they need is a little bit of help from the Chiefs, who have a bit of a tough schedule ahead of them. And also, if they win their next 2 games, they'll clinch a spot in the dance. So that's something to look forward to anyway. So let me know what you guys think about this game. Are you relieved that the Bengals finally took down the Browns? Are you tired of that narrative and happy that we can finally move on to talking about something else? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll feature the best ones in my next recap video, like this one from Majestic YT, who said in my Bengals Chiefs recap video, Bengals versus Cowboys in the Super Bowl. And hey, that would be fun, man. Like, that'd be awesome. Like, we could do like a joint preview show for the Super Bowl like that. But my only concern with that is, and the same reason why I've had the Cowboys at number 6, and they're probably going to stay in place in the upcoming power rankings. They struggled with the Colts until the fourth quarter, and then they almost lost to the Texans. So I'm definitely a little skeptical about the Cowboys right now. But at the same time, that would be fun. I hope it happens. So that's it for me this week, guys. Until the next one, y'all can always find more of what I do at KylePhelps92 on Twitter, Facebook.com/ThePhelps, ATBNetwork.com, Butt Fumble Sports, the Battle of Ohio podcast, which is on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, and right here if you subscribe. But that's all I've got for this week, y'all. We're on to Tampa, and I'm starting to smell another January run, baby. But for now, I'll leave y'all, as always, with a hootie!